You looked in the mirror this morning and felt it. That quiet pull. Hide it. Fix it. Cover it up. You've been doing it so long you don't even question it anymore. But what if every haircut you've chosen for the last 10 years has been working against the most beautiful version of you? Not because you made bad choices, but because nobody ever told you there was a different way to think about this. Your natural beauty isn't something to manage. It's something to reveal. And the haircut is where that revelation starts. In part 3, I'm covering the one cut that women with your bone structure keep overlooking, and it's the one that changes photographs. I researched the worst style and beauty mistakes and the best fixes for women over 50, so you get real results fast. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I cover this every week. Part 1, The Hiding Habit. Why women over 60 learn to minimize. There's a moment most women can name. The exact haircut that started it all. The one where someone, maybe a stylist, maybe a well-meaning friend, told you to keep it short and neat. To not draw attention. To stay tidy. And you listened. Because at the time it made sense. And then 10 years passed. Here's what's happened since then. Every haircut designed to minimize has also, quietly, been minimizing you. Your features. Your presence. The way a room feels when you walk into it. That severe, close-cropped shape. The one you've kept clean and easy. It's not neutral. It's doing something specific to your face. It's compressing your silhouette. It's pulling the eye downward. It's flattening the upper portion of your face, which is where your bone structure actually lives. And most women have no idea this is happening. They just know something never quite lands the way they picture it. And honestly, I get it. The hiding habit starts because it feels safer. Smaller is easier to manage. But smaller is also what's been adding years, not in the way you'd expect. It's not the silver hair. It's not the fine lines. It's the shape around your face that tells your story before you say a single word. And right now, for a lot of women, that shape is telling the wrong one. Write this one down. The haircut you've been choosing to disappear into is the one making you most invisible. The fix isn't dramatic. It's not a big overhaul that takes courage and a whole new wardrobe. It's a shift in intention. Instead of asking your stylist for something that disappears, you ask for something that reveals. There's a difference between a cut that's tidy and a cut that's alive. Tidy closes the face. Alive opens it. And the first step is understanding what your specific features actually need, not what feels safest or lowest maintenance. Your bone structure has been waiting. And the right haircut is how it finally gets to speak. A friend of mine sat in that chair last year. 58 years old, stunning jaw, silver hair she'd kept cropped for a decade. She asked for just a trim. Her stylist paused and said, "What if we tried something different?" She cried in the car on the way home, not from regret, from recognition. She finally saw herself. Coming up next, the one haircut most women over 60 assume is aging them. It isn't. And finding out why changes everything about how you'll walk into your next salon appointment. Part 2. The myths women believe about silver hair and cuts. Ask 10 women over 60 what they think about their natural silver hair, and at least 7 will use the word harsh. They'll say it makes them look washed out. They'll say it ages them. They'll say they feel invisible next to women who color. And I want to stop right there, because every single one of those beliefs is wrong. Not slightly off. Wrong in the specific way that costs you years of working against yourself. Here's the truth about silver hair that nobody in this space talks about enough. Silver and white tones are some of the highest contrast colors a human being can wear near their face. They don't wash you out. They illuminate. But, and this is the part that matters, only when the cut is working with them. A flat, shapeless haircut in any color looks flat and shapeless. Silver just makes that flatness more visible because of how much light it reflects. That's not the hair's fault. That's the shape. So when women say silver ages them, what they're actually seeing is a cut that isn't pulling its weight. This one is everything. The second myth is that shorter is always more manageable and more modern. This one runs so deep. Women have been told for decades that at a certain age you go short. And manageable, yes, but modern? That depends entirely on execution. A blunt, close-cropped cut with no internal movement isn't modern. It's a silhouette from 30 years ago that hasn't been updated. What's actually modern, what you see on the most striking women over 60 in any city in the world, is shape with intention, length that has a reason, layers that serve a purpose, not length for length's sake, not layers scattered randomly. Structure. There's a reason this specific combination is the hardest to find in a suburban salon, and it's worth knowing before your next appointment. Because most stylists will default to what they've always done unless you ask for something specific. The third myth, and honestly this one stings, is that you need to earn the right to have beautiful hair. That after a certain age, beautiful hair is for younger women, and you should settle for something practical. Nothing has ever been less true. Your beautiful eyes, your natural elegance, your bone structure, those don't retire. They just need a frame that's actually built for them. The swap here is specific. If you've been choosing cuts designed to minimize and stay invisible, swap to cuts designed to reveal and frame. A layered cut that falls just past the collarbone with soft face framing pieces changes how your cheekbones read in photographs immediately. And if you're currently wearing a blunt jaw-length bob with no internal movement, your stylist can add internal weight removal and a point cut finish in one appointment, and you'll see the difference that same afternoon. Maintain with a trim every 8 weeks. Ask specifically for movement at the ends, not bulk removal at the roots. What I'm covering in the next part. Most women find it even harder to hear, but it's the one that matters most. Part 3. The cut that changes photographs. What your bone structure actually needs. You've been in a photograph recently and thought, "That's not how I look in the mirror." And you're right. It isn't. The camera reads structure differently than the eye does. It flattens. It narrows. It collapses soft shapes into shadows. And if your haircut doesn't have built-in architectural response to that, you'll always look different in photos than you feel in real life. That gap is closable. And this part tells you exactly how. Here's what the camera actually sees when it looks at a face over 60. It sees the outer edge of the silhouette first. Then it reads the mid-face. Then the jawline. The parts of your face that carry the most beauty, your cheekbones, your brow arch, the elegant line of your temple. Those are in the upper and middle zones. A cut that ends at the jaw or above directs all the eye's attention to the lower third of your face. That's where softening happens most visibly with age. So the very cut most women choose to look neat and clean is also the one that sends the camera directly to the part of the face that photographs hardest. This specific choice is pulling the eye downward, which flattens your cheekbones and adds at least 4 years to how your face reads in any light. This is the one a friend of mine heard and immediately called her stylist. The specific cut that changes photographs is one most women haven't been told to ask for. It's a long, soft layered cut, typically landing between the collarbone and 2 inches below it, with face framing pieces that begin at the cheekbone and taper softly toward the chin. Those face framing pieces do 2 things simultaneously. They draw the camera's attention upward toward your eyes and cheekbones, and they create the visual illusion of lift in the mid-face. The result in photographs is a face that reads more three-dimensional, more present, more alive. Yes, that's simple. For maintenance, those face framing pieces need a softening trim every 6 to 8 weeks. Not a full cut, just a dusting to keep the taper clean. Ask your stylist for directed crown volume with softened face framing, and watch their eyes light up. That's stylist language for exactly this. There's one thing about the next part that nobody in this space talks about. That's next. Part 4. Embracing the full picture. Texture, length, and letting your hair tell the truth. There's a version of you that exists right now, today, where your hair isn't fighting your face, your age, or your reflection. Where you walk into a room, and the first thing people notice isn't what you've done to minimize yourself. It's you. The full presence of you. That version doesn't require a transformation. It requires permission. And I want to give you that in this last part. Texture is the thing nobody tells you about. Most conversations about haircuts for mature women focus on length and shape. And length and shape matter enormously. But texture is the layer underneath all of it that determines whether a cut feels alive or flat from the very first day. Natural hair over 60 changes in texture. It becomes finer in some places, coarser in others. It grows differently. It responds to humidity differently. And if your stylist is cutting your hair the same way they cut it a decade ago, with the same tools, the same technique, the same finish, your hair will feel like it's fighting you every single morning. Because the hair you have now isn't the hair you had then. What changes everything here is asking for a cut that's designed for your current texture, not your remembered texture. The before and after swap here is one of the most specific I'll give you today. If you're currently using heavy product to control your hair into a shape it doesn't want to hold, swap to a cut that celebrates what your hair actually does naturally. Straight fine silver hair with a soft layered cut and a diffused blow dry at the crown creates natural volume that lasts all day, without product weight. Wavy or slightly coarse silver haircut with internal weight removal and a rough dried finish looks expensive, editorial, and utterly deliberate. You went to bed last night thinking your natural texture was the problem. It isn't. It's been the asset your current cut doesn't know how to use. Embracing your natural beauty isn't a concept. It's a decision you make with your stylist in one specific conversation. You walk in and say, "I want a cut that works with my natural texture, that frames my face from the cheekbone down, that gives me movement without weight." Then you let the cut do what a good cut is supposed to do, reveal you. Not hide you, not contain you. You maintain this every 8 weeks with a light trim, not a reshape, just a dusting to keep the movement clean. Ask for a light diffusing spray at the roots before blow drying, and let the ends air dry naturally. That single routine change will make your hair feel different by tomorrow morning. And when you look in the mirror next time, don't look for what to fix. Look for what's already beautiful, because it's already there. I didn't expect this part to be the one people message me about most, but it always is. You just learned 4 things most women spend years figuring out alone. The hiding habit that's been working against you, the myths about silver hair that were never true, the specific cut that changes how your face photographs, and how your natural texture has been an asset your current cut never bothered to use. You did that in one sitting. Boom! Your bone structure was always this stunning. Now it shows. Tell me in the comments, which of these 4 parts hit closest to home? Which one are you taking straight to your next salon appointment? I want to know. Next time, we're getting into the one styling routine mistake that adds visible years every single morning. And it takes 30 seconds to fix. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, and I'll see you in the next one.